Okay, what the heck is going on? Hello, everybody. Lucas Haneman here. Welcome to this week's episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday. And this episode is what happens when you give somebody who is most definitely not a country guitar player a guitar that is traditionally made for using in country purposes. This is a Warmoth guitar. This guitar belongs to my friend Trevor May, who you guys know because he's been featured on the channel before with his amazing pedals. Trevor May makes fantastic pedals, and I am a huge fan of his work. Now, earlier this week, Trevor came over to my place, and he just said, borrow this for a week and see what happens. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what is happening right now, right here. This guitar has a mechanism on it called a B-bender. I believe this is the Parsons style B-bender, which was the initial style of B-bender. So as you guys can see, on the back of this guitar, there's a large chunk of wood that's routed out. And if you can hopefully see here, on the front of the guitar, the B string comes through a little hole in the body. And this little lever on the strap controls the pitch of the B string. It's pretty sick. It's pretty cool. And, I am not a guy who knows much about B-benders. The way that this came about is that Trevor came out to one of my gigs last Sunday, and I don't know, he was talking about B-benders and how he has 5 Telecasters and how he's really into the B-bender thing. And I said, you know what, I've never tried one. So this is the result of me just trying it out. And I'm by no means an expert, that's for darn sure. But it's kind of fun. Like, with this B bender, it's meant to do whole tone bends, and you can tune the pitch of the string with this little lever back here. It's kind of like a knob, well, a slider kind of knob. So you can change the pitch of that B string and how it intonates when you bend it with that little slider wheel. But the cool thing about this is that you can do all kinds of interesting stuff with it. You know, traditionally, in a country context, people would kind of be doing like their, you know, well, this is not going to be great, guys, I'm sorry, but, you know, you're kind of like... Let me turn off that excessive reverb and that effect there. That kind of thing. And, you know, so it definitely does the job. It does an interesting job of bending that B string for you. Now, of course, you could do that stuff yourself. And I guess because I've never had one, I've just gotten used to doing that, so it doesn't bug me. But there are things that you can do with it that are a lot harder to do without it. For instance, like if I hold down, this is a C sus2 chord. If I hold that chord down and then bend, that's a pretty sweet sound, right? As I say, I'm still kind of getting the hang of it, but it's pretty interesting for sure. Or you could hold down like a minor chord and do that kind of... What was I doing yesterday? I was like holding down like a little chord, like a triad type shape, and bending. So, for instance, check this out. Now you have to be careful sometimes whether you're going to bend a semitone or a whole tone, and that's what I've been trying to get used to. And in that kind of bluesy context, it's fun because there's some chords I know, you know, I'm going to have to bend a semitone. That's a whole tone. That's a whole tone, and if I were to do this, I would try to bend a semitone to get to my A minor. Whoops. So it's very odd to get used to this sensation of like pulling down on your shoulder on the strap to get used to the B bender. But man, I gotta say it's fun, and it's fun to try to do something a little bit different with it. You know, as we know, a lot of guitar players have used this thing, and it's not just country guitar players, right? Like I think the most popular B bender player who was not a country player was, of course, the great Jimmy Page, or is, of course, the great Jimmy Page. And you know, he's done a lot of amazing things with the B bender. And of course, it just sounds fantastic, you know, when I think about some of those Led Zeppelin recordings that use it, and it's very cool. Like if you gain it up, you know, if you gain it up, you can get some pretty interesting sounds. Almost sounds, you know, starts to sound like a slide guitar, right? Pretty interesting. So this video is kind of about that and just about having fun with it. The other aspect of this video is this guitar. This is a Warmoth guitar. For those of you who don't know, Warmoth guitars have been around since 1980, and they've been making guitar parts. basically they make necks, they make bodies, and they even sell them to some manufacturers. I've heard stories that some of the Sir guitars are made with Warmoth bodies and necks, or at least they were at one point. And, the nice thing is you get a very customized instrument. Martin Newman, the bass player in the LH Express, which is my band, he has a new #1 bass that he built himself, because that's what he does. He builds everything himself. He builds his own amps. He builds his own pedals. He builds his own basses now, It's pretty crazy. This amp actually way back here is an amp that he built, a bass amp. And it sounds freaking awesome, man. But he built himself a bass with Warmoth parts. And he took a neck pickup from an old 61 P bass that he had that had gone dead. He had it rewound and he put it in this beautiful white body with this nice Warmoth neck. And it's an amazing bass. And this guitar, this is a Telecaster that belongs to Trevor, and this is made with Warmoth parts. And one of the coolest features about this guitar is the neck. This is what they call a boat neck. And man, it is big. It is big and substantial, but very manageable at the same time. If you're used to biggish necks, this is like a V, soft V going into a C. And it's, I love it, man. I love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of larger necks, but I got to say the craftsmanship with this Warmoth neck is just fantastic. It's making me think that if ever I want to replace the neck on one of my Strats or something like that, maybe I will go with Warmoth to do it. And Warmoth also, they have the license to use the Fender headstock shape, which is also very interesting. And they also have this little hole here, and from what I know, this is where you do your truss rod adjustment at the side of the neck, which is also very convenient. The body is nice. I mean, this is Trevor's own thing. It's definitely very different. Ferns and stuff going on. But yeah, it's a cool guitar. And Trevor calls this his outdoor guitar. It's a poly-finish guitar. And like he said, if it gets knocked over, it don't matter because it's a Tele and it's all good, right? But yeah, it's very cool. And it's very stable. Sounds great. You can't see the amp today. I'm plugged into this Yamaha JX35 over here. But man, it sounds good. know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun trying to use this thing in maybe a non-typical way, but it's pretty cool. I gotta say, this B-bender thing, it's very interesting. So I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, have you ever experienced a B-bender? Have you ever experienced a Warmoth guitar? And that would be very cool. I'd like to know your experience with Warmoth or with B-benders and what you think of these things. That's about it for this week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we shall see everybody again on the next episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.